Good morning, Boker Tov. Today I'd like to talk about a concept of peace and how this is related to a concept of payment. Now, the word for peace in Hebrew is Shalom, and the word to pay is Shalem. You hear it has a similar sound to the word. A vowel difference is there. But going back to the three-letter root system, we know that the most important part of the word is the three-letter root. So here, with peace and to pay, there is a concept that something has to be fulfilled. In other words, when a person does something for you, you have a obligation to do something back for them. We see this in every common aspect of language itself. We say thank you and please as recognition of this. In some cases, in Hebrew, if somebody does something nice for you, the proper response is actually bavakasha, okay, which is a word to say to request, as if request more of me, okay. Now, when we do this, we take a loan, or we buy a product or something. We put somebody in a position of being a debtor. Now, this isn't really good, because then we go around with this obligation, with this feeling that, I did something for somebody, now you owe me, or you did something for me, now I'm in your debt, and now I have to make recompense. I have to do something to make it straight again, to where I'm not in your debt. You see, now this is most often accomplished by the fact that I buy a product. I want to get a product, so I get the product from a person. Then I pay them cash as form of payment. At that point, I made whole. Everything's made whole. Another word related is Shalem. Also means not only to pay, but to make whole. When you make something whole, something is whole. So Shalom, the whole concept of peace, is for wholeness. It's not what the Western world would really think about when they say peace. What's peace? Well, peace really is to have wholeness. That means not to be at odds. That's why in the Jewish faith specifically, the highest form of charity is to perform deeds in preparation for somebody that had died. Because if you perform deeds such as washing the body for burial, that's the highest form of charity, because there is no way at all that individual can pay you back. They've already ceased to be here in this realm. They've already passed on to the spiritual realm. They can't recompense you for that. And so that's considered a high form of charity, because you're doing it out of love. There's no, I'm doing this because I plan to get something in return. So the three are connected. Shalom for peace, Shalem to pay, and also Shalem means whole, or to be complete. Okay. Now, when a person talks to somebody in the Hebrew, they say Shalom, and it's a blessing that somebody says to them when they meet them and when they leave as well. Well, this is very important. It's a blessing. This is how we say hello and goodbye also. And the reason why we're saying hello and goodbye, we're saying, may they have peace, may they be whole, may they be a whole person, may their life be whole, may they not have issues that cause them pain and sorrow or suffering. Which brings us to a city, Jerusalem, everybody knows. Well, Yerushalayim means city of the inheritance of peace, city of peace, city of the inheritance of peace. So it's stated in places, writings, that there's a common phrase when we say, Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim, which means ask for the peace of Jerusalem. Often translated in English as pray for the peace of Jerusalem. But it's stronger than just praying. Praying is a verb called hitpilah, which is like introspective type of word, but this is actually shalul, which means to ask. We're told by God to ask for the peace of Jerusalem. And the reason why is because when there is peace on Jerusalem, then there tends to be peace across the whole world. And when there's strife in Jerusalem, there tends to be no peace throughout the rest of the world. So there's a unique spiritual correlation of how that happens. So Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem, is the city of peace. It's the city of the inheritance of peace. In other words, when all things are said and done at the end of times, and it's judgment and everything has happened that's going to happen in this world, then we end up having Jerusalem as the center, and the center and its whole and its peace. So for Jerusalem to be at peace, it has to be whole. The whole city has to be whole, which is another political thing that I'm not going to get into at this video. However, when you take an obligation and you become a debtor, oftentimes you become a slave to the debtor. It's very easy to become a slave to the debtor. The debtor ends up having some problems, and then what happens if they can't pay? Well, if they can't pay, they end up becoming a slave to the debtor. And this is not good. And I don't mean the slave like whips and chains back in the day of, before the Civil War in America. I'm talking about debt. And this isn't a physical slavery or servitude. This is when you are in debt and you can't get out, it wreaks on your mind. It plays with this. It plays with this. It wears you out in ways that are undescribable. You try to maneuver things so that you can pay the rent on time, or so that you can pay utilities, and you take losses other places because it's more important to keep the lights on. It's very important to not be a debtor to a servant to debt. A slave to debt, because I'm not saying don't have a credit card or whatever. There's wisdom in trying to stay away from. If you can't afford it, just don't get it. It's a better option. If you can't do it, then don't do it. It's the better option. And I know it's a struggle for some families, and I know some people are put into the situation by others in their family. But you want to try to get out of debt. That's why I subscribe to Dave Ramsey's opinions, because he's all about getting you out of debt, making sure you get out of that debt. And it's very wise, and he uses very biblical concepts for his lessons on that. So I think he's very good to listen to. So I listen to him when I drive around on Sunday mornings. I also listen to Daniel Lappin, and he's all about creating positive environments around you. Another part of the equation on not to be in debt. So I mentioned them in another video about 3 books that will bless your life. So if you haven't seen that one yet, please take a look at it. And pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem in your daily prayers. That peace will be there. Okay? And recognize to be at peace means to be whole. It's to be, it's not to be in debt, and it's not to be a slave to the debtor. And you want to make good, and you want to pay up front, and you want to pay things ahead of time, and you want to get out of any possibility of being in bondage to the slave master, which is the debt. And so you want to be at peace. And to be at peace is to remove these things. So a couple things there for your thoughts. Tell me what you think. And if you like my small little lessons in Hebrew, subscribe and push the like and share with others, so that hopefully these little nuggets can help other people, or maybe help guide them or direct them to something else. And if you're, you might just like the Hebrew language, which I love the Hebrew language. And let me know what you think. All right. Thanksgiving is soon, so I just want everybody to take that time to remember to be grateful for the things they have in their life, the blessings, and to give thanks for them. And with that, I give thanks to all the blessings that I have, and I wish everybody a good Thanksgiving. If you're in America, and if you're not in America, it's still good to give thanks on a daily basis. So give thanks, reflect on the giver of all things that are, which is God above, and just take the time to thank Him every day, and that will create a better, positive environment. So with that, I pray that everybody's blessed, and I'll see you next time.